lagi dari Serbia. No snow today.
No snow today, and tomorrow basically we had this very big snow. This is the Terazija Square, so this is one of the city squares over here. Some of the things which are representative on this square is definitely this fountain, which is currently not working because it is the winter time. During the summertime it is working, but no one uses it to drink the water or something like that. It's more like a decoration, really, over here. Over here we have this Moscow hotel. So this is the second hotel which was built in the city of Belgrade at the beginning of the 20th century. Is also one of the most luxurious one in the city.
Luxurious?
Yes. So you can see that it is a 4-star hotel. The reason why it doesn't have 5 stars is because over there you don't have the swimming pool. Otherwise it is a 5-star. Okay. And this hotel actually has a really interesting story, because the building that we can see over here actually wasn't built to be a hotel building. It was built to be the headquarters of the Russian insurance company. But when they finished this building, and they did a very quick job, in only 1 year actually they finished it, this Russian insurance company went bankrupt and didn't exist anymore.
Kita akan masuk ke dalam mobil sekarang. Ini akan kita pakai untuk keliling-keliling kota Belgrade. Yeay. Kita naik mobil dulu. Oke. Udaranya dingin, jadi kita pakainya semua tebal-tebal. Iya. Yeah.
Your time, take your photos and pictures and everything.
Okay,
we always have time.
Yeah.
We're not in a rush today.
Okay, that's good. Nah, yang depan saya itu gedung parlemen. Gedung parlemennya Serbia. Kalau saya geser ke kanan, nah yang dekorasinya biasanya kayak kado gitu, ada pita, itu kantor pos utama di Serbia.
The parliament building actually was not just a parliament building for the Serbians. It was a parliament for 6 different countries. Now, during the 20th and 21st century, sometimes these countries were of different size, sometimes they were of different political society, but always they had a different name. So, we'll go with the beginning. The building was, we started to build it in 1907. Now, in the 1907, there was only Kingdom of Serbia, but very soon we had to stop with the construction of the building. There were 2 Balkan wars in 1912 and 1913, when Serbia was fighting against Turkey at first, and then after it was fighting with the Bulgaria. Yeah. But after these 2 Balkan wars, in 1914, the First World War started. And actually the first war operations were here in Belgrade. So this is where this conflict started. Now it was a devastating...
Ini modelnya kita hari ini. Dingin. Dingin.
Ke Serbia kali ini ada minus-minusnya. -1. Ngapain? Oh, harusnya bawa itu. Bawa sirup sama susu. Tapi gila, dingin banget. Bang, ini kado Natal buatmu. Sebuah gedung dan juga tanah. Ambillah. Sini, kantor pos.
Ini kita mau nyebrang jalan dulu. Tadi habis dijelasin gedung parlemen yang di belakang, dan depan saya ada main post office, kantor pos utama yang ada di Serbia. Siap-siap mau nyebrang, tapi masih merah. Tuh, dingin. Nah, itu gedungnya. Gedung kantor posnya ada di sana.
Is the name of the head of the church, Orthodox Church. So he was the head of the Serbian Orthodox Church. Very, very respected and loved during his life over here in Serbia and after his death as well. So this is why there is a monument dedicated to him.
Terima kasih translator kita yang walaupun agak patah-patah tapi oke lah. Nanti dia akan jadi guide kita di Serbia ya. Yang mau ikut turnya bisa kirim saja pesan.
Oh ya. Jadi dia cuma mutar gitu aja, ini perhentian terakhirnya.
They are now very old.
Tua.
These are from 1980s.
1980, dari tahun 1980-an. Usia keretanya. Oh.
They're like 40 years old.
Iya, sekitar 40 tahun.
Running.
Ya, cool.
Jadi yang tua-tua tetap running ya. Iya toh Pak? Yang tua-tua tetap running ya. Iya, supaya tetap hangat. Itu mesin aja sudah tua tetap jalan.
The one who wrote down the Gospels.
Oh, yang nulis Injil Markus. Oh, wow.
So this is the church dedicated to him. This is the second biggest Orthodox church in the city of
Nomor
Belgrade.
2 terbesar di sini gerejanya.
Now the thing with this church is that it is a modern one actually. The construction was done in the 1930s. And from 1940 actually this is a fully opened and operating church. By the architectural style maybe you wouldn't say that because it is very medieval Orthodox style. It is actually something like a traditional architectural style that we are using for the constructions of the church. Also, the reason why we use this old architectural style is because this church is the copy of the Serbian Orthodox monastery from the 14th century, located in Gračanica, in Kosovo and Metohija. Usually there are these replicas, kind of like for the church to resemble to that monastery. It's not completely authentic as that monastery is, of course. It is a very important monastery for the Serbs, and this is why in total in the world there are 4 of these churches. So one you have over here in Serbia, this one.
Yes.
One you have in Bosnia.
Oh,
One in United States of America. And one in Australia.
Australia. Oh.
So
ada 4.
wherever you have kind of like a big number of the Serbs living, they usually build a church in this architectural style and as a copy of this particular monastery, because it is very important.
Oh, ini dibangun karena di sini ada beberapa komunitas orang Rusia. Jadi gerejanya ini yang ibadahnya pakai bahasa Rusia gitu. Iya, jadi ada bahasa Toraja. Oke, sana soalnya bahasa Serbia. Oke.
So this is kind of like the Europe and American Union, which was made, a military union actually. Now over here we're gonna talk about this really 30-year-old history a bit. Kind of like the big Yugoslavia started to collapse in 1991 because of many of the problems which were present previously in the 1980s with Tito's death. Also that there was no ruler after him who was appointed over here. there was a big kind of like the communism needed to reform over here, but no one was willing to do these reforms. There was also the economical crisis, which was getting worse and worse, and there was no solution for it. And these problems also combined, they started the national tensions. Stadion built in 1950s.
1950s, tahun 1950-an.
Many sports.
Ya, banyak olahraga di sini.
But I'm gonna mention two of the most unusual one, which happened in 1971 from Spain. Most famous bulls and matadors. It was organized for the first time in 1971 out of the countries where this kind of the sport is a normal thing.
Autoball.
Yes.
Di sini dulu main sepak bola, tapi para pemainnya dari dalam mobil. Olahraga dari. Oke, jadi ini kita baru saja dari gereja Rasul Markus yang menulis kitab Markus di Alkitab ya. Ini gedungnya. Ini sisi lainnya gedung gereja Rasul Markus yang di belakang saya. Di sekeliling saya ini itu adalah sebuah taman. Ada banyak orang yang jalan-jalan di taman ini, bawa keluarga, bawa hewan peliharaan. Ada juga tempat olahraga tadi kita lewati. Itu dia gedung gereja Rasul Markus yang menulis Injil Markus di Alkitab. Ini ada banyak banget orang di sini yang jalan-jalan, olahraga, nyantai-nyantai. Oke. Yeay, keren. Oh. Ini tempat ayunan ya, Ri? Keranjang. How to use that one? Just sit on it.
To do something like this. You are basically lying down like this.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah. Yes, someone needs. You cannot do it by yourself.
Ini untuk yang tinggi, Pak. Tidak untuk orang Asia, Pak.
Goyang, dorong.
Saya goyang ya? Aduh. Inilah. Tidak ada mainannya kayak begini waktu kecil. Tidak ada begini waktu kecil, Pak?
Tidak ada.
Oh. Jadi mainin aja puas-puas. Bapak di sini aja ya. Ayo, dadah, Pak. Nah. Gimana turunnya, Pak? Turunnya, Pak. Turun sendiri. Nah.
Cie, yang lagi di Eropa. Cie. Yang satu sudah beku di belakang.
Awalnya Serbia.
Awalnya Serbia.
Awalnya coba-coba.
Awalnya coba-coba. Itu ketagihan, lanjut ke.
Besoknya saya datang lagi.
Dan terus.
Akhirnya coba lagi.
Akhirnya seluruh Eropa kita injak-injak. Amin. Jadi ini burung-burungnya lagi mencari kehangatan. Di situ ada uap panas keluar dari situ, mungkin dari pipa gas atau ada air panas di bawah itu. Nah, itu kenapa burung-burungnya ngumpul di situ. Hangat soalnya. Tuh, burung-burungnya pada di situ kan. Ada uap panas soalnya keluar dari bawah. Ternyata mereka kedinginan juga. Halo. Ya.
Which is dedicated to the children which were killed in the NATO bombing in 1999.
Untuk peringati anak-anak yang dibom tahun
86
anak meninggal.
And in total there was around 3,500 civilians during that NATO bombing which were killed.
Oh.
So this is the monument to commemorate all of them. Over here we can see the statue of Milica Rakic. She was a 3-year-old girl.
Oh, anak usia 3 tahun.
And she was killed by the fragments of the cluster bomb. which are also not allowed to be used as well. So this is essentially the thing behind the monument.
Oke.
It's commemorating these children victims, but at the same time all of these civilian victims in this monument.
Ya.
The president of the Azerbaijan. He used to be-
Presiden Azerbaijan dulu.
and this is where you have the Azerbaijan flag. On this side we have Milorad Pavić, a Serbian writer, with the Serbian flag. Azerbaijan gave a big donation for the reconstruction of the Tasmajdan Park. This is one sign of the gratitude and kind of like these good bonds between the Serbia and Azerbaijan as well, which they do symbolize and represent over here. Stay warm.
Jadi tinggal di sini aja, Pak?
Saya kalau di sini tiap pagi lari di sini.
Ah? Mau tiap pagi lari sini? Enak ya? Udaranya segar.
Udaranya segar, enak.
Jadi saya bisa pindah sini, Pak?
Boleh, boleh.
Cari jodoh sini?
Cari jodoh sini.
Oh, yes.
Nanti
Oke lah.
aku cari juga jodoh di sini.
Ais.
Jadi kalau mau nyebrang kita tekan ini ya. Tunggu hijau. Nah, tak. Kita langsung nyebrang. Ini tinggi sekali dia. Ini baru aja nyampe di Saint Sava Temple. Ini masih ada sisa-sisa salju di belakang saya tuh yang udah jadi membeku, jadi es batu.
So this is the Saint Sava Orthodox Church,
Orthodox
the
Church.
biggest one over here on the Balkans, and the third biggest in the world. First two are in Moscow. There are two which are bigger than this in Moscow, but this one over here is after them. So the temple, we started to make it over here in 1935.
1935.
And we actually finished it in 2000. Because after the Second World War, it was forbidden to build a church over here. Because communism was on power. And this situation was like this till 1985. When the Orthodox Church got the approval by the communist authorities that they can build the church over here. So from 1985 till 2000, they finished the church building.
Ini di belakang saya itu Saint Sava Temple. Nanti kita akan masuk ke situ. Tinggi bangunan gereja ini sekitar 81-an meter. Terus ini salib emas yang ada di sini yang di atas itu tingginya sekitar 12 meter. Ini lilin-lilin yang dinyalain ini untuk menaikkan doa. Kalau lilin yang di rak atas itu berdoa untuk orang-orang yang masih hidup, untuk berdoa untuk kesehatan dan lain sebagainya. Tapi rak yang kedua yang di bawah itu doa untuk yang sudah meninggal. Sekarang kita mau masuk ke dalam gereja Saint Sava dulu. Di sini bebas untuk foto dan video, tapi harus lepas penutup kepala. Jadi saya ini buka penutup kepalanya. Ini saya lagi ada di dalam Saint Sava Temple, gereja Ortodoks. Untuk masuk ke sini kita harus melepas tutup kepala. Jadi ini saya lepas topi. Dan saya mau manfaatin waktu saya selama ada dalam gereja ini untuk foto dan juga untuk video. Karena ini satu-satunya gereja Ortodoks yang ada di kota ini yang kita bisa bebas mengambil foto dan video. Lukisan-lukisan dalam gereja ini keren banget. Bagus-bagus banget lukisan-lukisannya. Dan itu ternyata disusun dari sekitar 50 juta batu-batuan kecil sampai terbentuk lukisan-lukisan yang keren banget seperti ini. Saya mau manfaatin dulu waktu untuk video dan foto. Jadi di pintu-pintu ini ada tulisan, isinya itu doa dalam berbagai bahasa. Sayangnya saya cari-cari itu saya nggak nemu bahasa Indonesia. Semoga suatu saat ada ya yang versi bahasa Indonesia. Jadi di pintu ini, ke pintu sebelah sini juga, kita lihat ya, ada tulisan bahasa Jepang. Tuh. Tapi tidak ada bahasa Indonesia.